There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I'll trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. He stuck the chap next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen. I've simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusions.
I don't even remember what voice I was doing for him. You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence for years.
The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
I'm starting to wish I hadn't pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. According to my book, that's not quite how it works. Oh? I thought I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant. Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then... They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they may become. Then what on earth am I supposed to do? Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then? Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments. What do you mean? Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. It may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they're complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together. And that's the way to break them down, you mean? Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says, and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see. So it's contradictions in what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right.
Make them argue within themselves. Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. Careful, you can hurt somebody with that.
If I want to talk, what if that sword hanging from your waist, hmm?
No, that's...
Anyway, I despise anyone with too much money. They're all the same, all stabbing some brickmaker or other behind the scenes, you mark my words.
It seems very unlikely, doesn't it?
Are you mad, man? We know that small shorty is a rotten Shylock.
Well, yes, that does seem to be the case, but...
Mr. Naruto, please be careful what you say. If he's been trying to squeeze money out of us, less fortunate than as far as I'm concerned. He's as guilty as sin. The man can hang.
Come to think of it,
Didn't one of the other jurors have something to say about the defendant's underhand activities?
what have you been doing all this time?
What have you been doing all this time? There. I should have thought it was obvious. I'm recording everything that takes place as part of these proceedings.
And what have you learned from that?
For example, at this moment in time, the judge has used his gavel 11 times in total. The prosecution has snorted derisively at your remarks 7 times in total. And I might add, each time you have gulped like a simpleton.
Thank you. So anyway, madam, are you able to explain why you think the defendant is guilty?
That's the conclusion I've drawn as a result of the copious notes I've typed.
Clearly, but I'm asking you to explain why you've drawn that conclusion.
Please don't distract me. It makes it extremely hard to concentrate on my note keeping.
Objection. These two statements clearly contradict each other.
They do? Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silver's Blaze's mane and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right, I have those precise details typed neatly in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
That it is a fair and convenient single price.
But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man? Why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication, it'll be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare.
1 person's fare?
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious.
This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all.
The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Alright then, how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end?
Well, according to my book here, you simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of scales.
Now hold your horses there, coachman. We were all in agreement. Why do you have to go and...
Yeah, we do need... What's up, man? Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo.
Oh, this is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
Let's go.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I for one think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it. If we can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more? There's something else that's bothered me about a couple of their assertions. And that's where you must strike next.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination.
Bookkeeper. She's already...
I really think you should stop waving that needle around. You heard what the good coachman said before, didn't you? The hideous man stabbed the poor fellow, just like this. Yes, that is what he said. You're right. The Gilded Park is such a lovely little place, too. I've always enjoyed resting my legs there while I get on with my knitting. And I had thought that anyone who donated such a delightful place must be a fine fellow indeed. I suppose I was wrong.
Whoever would have thought he was a miserable, murdering moneylender with not a scrap of remorse?
The old lady certainly seems to know her mind, doesn't she? What does that mean? So you just have to find two drawers of contradictory statements and pit them against each other.
Oh, you're just repeating the same shit. Got it.
How did you know? Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in such a situation. Not right now.
What the hell? Just reading my thoughts.
Someone else has to have been.
Hold it!
Yeah, I think I have to pit him against the guy with the little pocket knife thing or whatever. Or I forgot what the kind of knife's called.
Certainly the testimonies we've heard suggest the victim and Mr. McGilded were alone inside the carriage.
Precisely my point.
But could there be some other explanation? Something we haven't considered yet?
Such as?
Well, perhaps that's something that we could work out together now.
Now listen here. Maybe you don't know how things work around here because you're from foreign climes.
Bitch!
But we're here to form our opinions as individuals. And I have.
Oh dear, he doesn't appear to be in the mood to consider an alternative point of view, does he? Yeah. Let's go ahead and pit you against the first guy. Let's go.
I mean, their statements aren't contradictory, but like their beliefs and stuff kind of are.
Objection!
Oh, I was wrong.
Hold it!
Shit. Fudge.
I agree.
Damn.
I was wrong.
Yeah. Just like this. I mean, their statements contradict the old lady and him, but not like their personalities or whatever. You and how can I? Oh, I see.
Hold it!
Oh shit! I pressed the wrong button. Skip all this. Thank you. There we go.
Objection!
These two statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel. Post haste.
Oh, dearie me. I was only knitting a jumper for my other half.
What is all this claptrap? What does this contradictory even mean, I ask you? We've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What? Can't you see that I'm busy here? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Want to test me, do you? was like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true.
Now then, juror number 6.
Is that me, is it? What can I do for you, young man?
Would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? How would you say he stabbed the victim?
Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand, it was like this. He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman says so.
Now don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to me without even getting up.
He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never... They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What?
Bless my stitches, what a muddle.
What this tells us is that is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. But why? Why the dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point...
Oh, is one of them working for McGilded or something, man? Wait, that doesn't make sense because they all wanted guilty.
Let's have quiet now. If the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience?
As you say, oh dearie me. I can't abide people telling lies.
Let's go. Wait. Yeah, I think that's the right way. Yeah.
The scales. I don't believe it.
Wait. Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using his magic on us all.
Wow.
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say the Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him on the omnibus. And this young dandy saw him do it. And let's say the victim collapsed on the floor and then the Shylock stabbed him again. And
There's only one stab wound.
what's to say it didn't happen like that?
Autopsy report.
Who are you calling a dandy, sir? Well, I should take this knife to you.
Who are you calling old? Why I should take this needle to you?
They're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? Two different moments? No. That's out of the question. Autopsy report. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
What is it, you Dark Jinx? Come on out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say that 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
That's not the only way I'm going. It seems like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with some evidence he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof.
A single stab wound, bro. Bite.
This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
Only once?
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely 1 time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen 2 different times. Alright, I can see defeat.
Yeah, let's go.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo.
We've won. Wait, that's it? That's it?
What are you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
We had a consensus. What the fuck?
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor-sharp blade
What the?
and shave every last hair
Off his head. What the heck?
Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in quite a remarkable turn of events, the defense summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice.
Oh, that means it's going to be prolonged. We didn't win the whole case.
The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty.
Wow.
Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to educate, and the trial must continue.
Cool, bro. This dude's still licking his knife.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witnesses to return to their places, and I call upon you all to continue the pursuit of truth.
Dude. You don't even care. You just... Anyways.
So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
This guy. This long animation. What?
Having savored the rich aroma. Wow. Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice. It may seem crash to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks?
Is it cold in here, or is it just me? As your antiquated tome no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade. It seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury.
It's a funny way to call them all stupid.
Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us proceed to the next round of battle.
He gets all these cool animations.
Bring forth the witnesses once more.
All these guys.
Witnesses, I trust you heard the summation examination we just had to endure.
Oh yes, sir, that I did, sir.
Of course I heard it.
Oh yes, sir, I heard it.
You, sir, on the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo?
Yes, sir. My lord, sir.
If it transpires that in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a fifth passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir.
Oh, mio dio,
Now then, witnesses, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
Let's do this.
I only carried four passengers that night. I swear it. Well, I for one was told that I had to pay 5 pence for the bus.
What?
Damn. He fiddled us on the fare, he did. And then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I'll tell you, I saw McGill stabbing that man. Everything I said before stands.
Oh yes, he stabbed him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
Dude, aren't your eyes on the road? How would you... Oh, he got out of the carriage and shit.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
The phantom fifth passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed. The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cozenage.
Beppo. Beppo, explain yourself. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster.
Damn, now his eyes are open.
The guild fares 4 pence across the board. You know that. Am I to understand that you've been overcharging our passengers by a penny a fare?
Damn. He has. It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm so sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo. A disgrace. And your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the entire guild.
If I may, sir, I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is, yes, 20 pence. I've done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently.
No, that figures.
Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Absolutely. Does that mean everyone on board that night paid 5 pence instead of 4?
paid 5 pence too, sir.
I just told you that I did.
A flat fare of 5 pence across the board.
It's not something to be proud of. The so-called discrepancy my learned friend identified was nothing of the sort. Much like the Phantom Killer you so desperately needed, it's gone, dead, and buried.
It's all too much.
This blood-curdling sight. You mean the murder, I presume?
Yes, sir.
A loathsome sight. No one should have to witness the horror in the eyes of a man the moment his life is taken.
Oh, well, not exactly, sir. I mean, I didn't actually see the exact moment the gent was stabbed.
Good gracious, really?
We have another witness who did, however. The banker has already testified to it. But Mr. First didn't actually see the point at which the victim was killed. That may turn out to be very significant.
I heard the banker gent next to me take a sharp intake of breath, see? The banker gent. That's when I looked through the glass. Huh?
He's looking at him like, watch what she's saying and stuff.
That's when I saw the horrible blade poking out from his belly, all covered in blood. Every time I see a knife now, I can't help screaming, even when I'm eating.
You better not be the murderer, dude. Trying to pretend like you're all scared.
So you saw the defendant, Mr. McGilded, stabbing the victim, Mr. Mason, who was sitting next to him. That's what I said, isn't it? It was bothering me before, this was. For just a moment he hesitated before answering the question.
And there was only 2 of them inside the carriage, wasn't there?
There's been too much talk of a 5th passenger, but as of yet, 0 evidence.
Then what are we wasting all this time for, eh? It's black and white. The man's guilty.
Huh? Should I just present this? If he was sitting. You can only see one direction, and it would have to be this way. Oh, there's the blood spot on the thing. Wait, what? Phoenix Wright Omnibus. What? Phoenix Wright Omnibus. Why does it say that? Alright, so there's the place. You'd have to be sitting in the back. That's where their feet go. Okay. Oh wait, I can... Oh shit, I can get in? Oh shit. Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition. Ooh, the Crystal Tower, it's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement. Cool. That's a poster for the great exhibitions due to start 6 months from now. Cool, man. Is it the same exact words? There's no hook under here. Only thing we can select is this bloodstain. That's blood. That's soaked into the seat. The victim's obviously. Now be this, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck. Yeah. So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets. So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights, and they have to pay money to do so. Can we click this? What? Wow. Alright, so is that everything? Who's sitting here? Oh, same stuff, got it. That's all I can find. Oh, shit, I even... That part is the sheath, isn't it? That part is the sheath, isn't it? Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? Yes, I just don't really like blades. What? Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist. It's not a blade. That's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. Let's see what the blade looks like. Treated. rotate it. Let's see if this is a W. This looks more like a W than it. I don't know. It could be W. But who's W? An ornate letter M. Undeniably. Duh. Oh. Really? How the fuck can you tell? I guess. Interesting. It's definitely a... This has to be Magnus McGilden's thing then. What the hell is all that shaking? Oh. I tell you I saw. Represent. I think I should just present this right. I hope I don't mess up. Shit. I thought that the crime scene photo, because how do you even see the other person if the stab wound is in front? You can't even see the other seat from there. So that sucks.
Hold it!
Earlier you testified you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you? Oh, yes, that's right. You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant. Wait, you said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding the knife in an ice pick grip. I suppose. I might have, yes, put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard a scream from the seats on the roof deck. I expect that was me, sir. Then when I turned around, yes, I saw it through the skylight. The gentleman was on the floor. No. You're lying, mate. So in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all. I really thought I did, but I didn't actually see the precise moment of the stabbing. Damn.
Excuse me.
What the hell? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Are you asking me or telling me? Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly, unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on the top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know. And I know what I saw. I remember it clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you.
Thank you, Mr. Fairplay.
Oh, excuse me if I was getting a little hot on the collar there, my lord.
I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about what exactly you saw.
Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was. Gotcha. Blood-soaked hands. Well, he had gloves on, so...
Objection!
Blood-soaked hands? Well, I admit that soaks might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it.
Well, I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
What?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night in question.
Oh, yes, right.
And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But as I'm sure you can clearly see, it's only on the right-hand glove.
Oh! That's a weird animation.
In short, Mr. Fairplay, your testimony is inconsistent.
But no, that can't be right.
So you're the liar here then?
That's right. You were quite clear about it. You said it was in both hands. So what are you talking about, mate?
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your entire testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Oh, well,
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. You can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one, but the fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accused.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands, which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court.
Why? Why, I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe. Upstanding members of society don't prevaricate.
He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case? Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, if we had some evidence, it could turn the tide of the trial.
I have evidence.
My lord,
Yes, counsel?
the defense is ready to present evidence.
By Jove, are you sure?
Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had reason to lie in his testimony.
Very well. I hereby call on the defense to present its evidence.
Take that!
This is a list of the debtors who owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, a list of innocent victims crippled by the accused extortion.
The point is, among the names of these debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay.
What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted financially to the accused?
Oh, well, it's barely worth being called a debt. Not enough cash.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas. Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
Well, what of it?
Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case?
These documents say that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor, the defendant here, to be sentenced to capital punishment, all outstanding debts which were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist? Mr. Fairplay, is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never, in fact, saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant?
Order, order, order. Mr. Fairplay.
Yes, my lord.
Let me ask you again. And be aware that your answer may have some serious implications upon your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim?
Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony.
Alright, now let's not make a melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch.
A pinch?
But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilded's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained.
So you keep saying. Bro, was it you? What's up with your hat, bro?
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. First.
Well, the thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself, as it happens. Seeing what? The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes. I'm almost sure that it was on both his hands, not just one. What? What?
I mean, didn't he go to help out or something?
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony.
Of course.
This time I'd like to know precisely what you did and what you did not see. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Yours. Have you any help? Not enough cash. Yeah, thank you. There's blood on both hands of the assailants. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpires, if that matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both the attacker's hands with blood on them. Blood on the knife. That's weird. I didn't actually see anything until I heard the scream.
Dude, I have no idea who it is now. I thought it was fair play, but I don't even know, man.
Anyway, that fact remains. There can't have been anyone else on inside the carriage. Or we all
No.
Well, lo and behold, in the truth of fact, not one of you was witness to the crucial procedure.
I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there's no one else inside that carriage, and the man's hands were covered in blood. That much. That's not really what testimony is about.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts. In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of this case.
Very well, your cross-examination, please, counsel.
Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question. I'm well aware of that, sir. Nevertheless, I know I saw him stand by it. The man had blood on both his hands.
Your reasoning is dire. One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged. Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guilty from the accused's fingers. Guiltily.
Hold it!
Don't try to downplay this. Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as well you know. For crying out loud, we all know that no one else could possibly have done it. I was just trying to save us all some time. You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? Although, it's not entirely not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse in the derby, that's all. I was gonna win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend, that's a good thing, I think he said. I'm a banker, no one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
The witness's scruples are not on trial here. Proceed to the next witness.
Hold it!
You definitely saw that too, blood on both hands. Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Miss McGill's gloves has any sign of blood on it. The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGill sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir. He wasn't wearing these gloves. That's correct, sir. And I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilded's gloved hands. It's gloved hands. There wasn't blood on his hands. So there wasn't blood on his hands. He wasn't wearing his... What the fuck? I guess I'll press you even though you don't know anything.
You didn't see anything.
Yeah, so that's to say, no, okay. That was worthless.
Objection!
I knew I should have just did that from the start. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight and the floor of the upper deck. Is that right? That's right, yes. In that case, there's a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. Yeah, it could have been some underneath you guys. Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure. But the possibility cannot be denied. At the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Oh shit, you mean hidden underneath that chair? I don't think anyone could fit in there. I mean, there was room. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims. After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh. Yeah, man.
Very well, I will uphold this prosecution's demand. We'll identify the area on this cross.
Take that!
Obviously. Both rows of seats on the roof face in the direction of travel, whereas the seat in the enclosed cabin face each other, which means the visible part of the cabin which passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight is as I've drawn here. Damn. Good illustration, bro. That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one on which the victim and his attacker were sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it.
Objection!
You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth of ambiguity.
I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In a British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passenger to whom you allude.
Fuck, no. I have no idea, bro. I have no fucking idea. Wasn't it? Could have been him. Yeah, I have no idea.
But as a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone. Go on. This isn't just a case of going on, Mr. Zito.
Alright then, I'll go on. The defense would like to put forward a name.
Who?
You're a fool. The response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Let us not delay, counsel. The defense is still to name the passenger in the other seat.
Dude, there's no other people. Who could it be?
The fuck? This doesn't make sense.
Dude, who could it even be? If he was driving it, he has to be driving it, right? Dude, this is terrible. Dude, I literally have no idea. It's only these people to choose from. It's only really these 4 to choose from. Or 3.
Oh shit, maybe it was him.
Fuck. Dude, this is hard. I'm gonna do it. I don't want to, but... Yeah, no, I was wrong. Damn. Dude, who could it be?
Mr. Naruhodo, our task here is to defend Mr. McGilded. We are working on the assumption that he is innocent of this crime. That must mean then that there was someone else inside.
No shit. Right. So how the hell can I just... Bro, you guys are crazy as hell. I'm gonna have to say fair play then. This is so stupid. That doesn't seem right. This is so fucking dumb. I don't know who to choose.
Take that!
No! I just freaking lost. Dude, who could it even be, bro? Beppo? Oh shit, Beppo killed him for some cash or some shit. I don't know. It can't be that simple, bro. He's driving. Cool, man. Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
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 Oh, that's what their voices sound like. Dude, they could have just said guilty and like restarted me. It's doing way too much. Jog on. Game over. Yeah. Right on. Jog off. Or jog on. Alright. Come on, man. All the way back here. Right on. See
Objection!
Beppo, man. That's the only person I can think of. Well, who the hell was driving the horses? So I'm gonna pick fucking Beppo.
Take that!
Bro, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense. Dude, I literally have no effing idea. This is so stupid.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the witnesses on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. McGill. Okay.
What are you talking about, counsel? That's the name of the defendant.
Objection!
If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do you forgive the discourtesy?
Lord Van Zeeks.
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailants were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to that fact. It's the very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong. If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. The defendant's gloves, my lord. Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claim that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Ooh. Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains. The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance.
Yes, their testimony remains unchanged.
Exactly. They both adamantly swear that
They clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim that night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party? Obviously, the true culprit.
Extraordinary. Order. What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
The defense postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes. The top of their heads were obscured by the roof. I could see the rest of them though. Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
What particular styles of hat did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
I'm afraid I don't remember. You call yourself a hatter? The style of hat makes no difference. There's no third passenger in that cabin. How can you be so sure? Because if there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would have undoubtedly have offered to dispose the fact. Unless, that is, you're proposing an even more preposterous explanation. That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled. Damn. He's right. If there was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus, it's inconceivable that Mr. McGilded would have been unaware of it.
There's clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused Mr. McGilded to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
The prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
As a suspect, he will have already made a full statement to the police. But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely? Magnus McGilded is no uneducated ruffian. If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion?
My lord. Yeah. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilded to the stand.
In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury. Yes, I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilded has to say. Get the man out here, I say. It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony. Something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
Hearing what the patron of my favorite little podcast to say, oh yes, that would be lovely.
Yes, the jury says this man must be heard. Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Bailiff, show the defendant to the stand at once. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day?
To be sure I have, my lord.
There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there is a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the fact from the police?
Come on, man, is there... Begad, no, 'tis not in my nature to hide anything at all.
Just answer the questions, please.
The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell yous all or keep me mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? The fine fellow representing me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger.
It's true?
Aye, and 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You... What?
No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now.
I'm truly sorry I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be wanting to know why I said nothing when I was taken in by the police. I do be having a very good reason, I assure you.
Which was?
Well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and not in any way involved, you see.
What?
If the police had known the wee one was there, they'd have assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her into this courtroom here. What? I was only trying to spare that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord.
What the hell are you talking about?
And who is this young child of whom you speak?
That I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night. I never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness's statements to be disregarded by the court.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings.
What? What is going on?
What is going on?
He said the same thing I did.
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus.
I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
This is crazy. What?
We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff, amid scenes of chaos as people stumbled over one another in their desperation to flee the chamber. We had no idea what was happening. All we knew was that, for the time being at least, the trial was suspended.
Bitch! What?